So remember in this equation that this number right here is always half of our perimeter. And it comes from the fact that rectangles are symmetric. Remember, if we cut this in half, that this side over here has to add up to half of our perimeter, and so does this side over here. So we cut that in half and say that if we've used up so much on one side, we have to subtract it from half of our perimeter to figure out how much is left. So what's the fixed perimeter for this? We have to take this number and double it. So it's 20 meters or feet or whatever. And then what are the x-intercepts for this equation? Remember, that means y equals 0, or in this case, our area equals 0. So we can figure out those intercepts by making a 0. So we have 0 equals length times 10 minus length. And then remember, we have the zero product property that says if you have two things multiplied together like this, and they both equal 0, we can set them equal to 0 individually. So L could be 0, and then also 10 minus L could be 0. And obviously this one's already solved. That's one of our intercepts. It would be the point 0, 0. And this one, if we add L to both sides to solve it, we get the L is 10. So there's another one. 10, 0. So our two intercepts are 0, 0 and 10, 0. And remember, intercepts are points, so you have to make them points. Just don't tell me 0 and 10. And then what's the vertex for this equation? Remember, that's the min or the max. That's the maximum amount of area I'm going to get. So remember, it has to be a square. So we can do this several different ways. We can say, well, if I have my two intercepts, I know that in between 0 and 10, I have to have my line of symmetry. And then remember, the vertex is always on the line of symmetry. So somewhere on here, we're going to have this vertex. And because it's a square, we know that length and width have to be the same. So if my length is 5, my area would have to be 25, because 5 times 5 is 25. You could also take 5 and plug it into this equation back up here. Do 5 times 10 minus 5. And you'd end up with 5 times 5, or 25. You could make the entire graph on a graphing calculator and take a look at it. You can also remember that because it has to be a square, you can take 20 up there and say 20 cut into 4 even pieces. Each of them would have to be 5. So that's how I know it's a 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. And then obviously your area is 25. So several different ways to think about that one. Use whatever one makes the most sense to you.